Since the news broke that Kevin Costner will be leaving Yellowstone because of scheduling issues for the second half of Season 5, there has been essentially a lot of silence on the part of the producers. Rumor has it that Costner, who is currently producing the Western picture Horizon, asked for only 1 week to film the rest of Season 5, throwing his continuation on the show into doubt. But if production on Yellowstone continues as planned, we won't see the premiere of Season 5 Part 2 until at least November, much after the original premiere date of July 2023. Amidst the controversy surrounding Kevin Costner and Yellowstone, speculation has grown about a possible spin-off series featuring none other than Matthew McConaughey. The same speculation has it that the rest of the original cast members will also be featured in the new installment. That being said, Chris McCarthy, president of Paramount Media Networks, has officially confirmed that McConaughey will be joining the franchise. But he never mentioned if he would be joining the 4/6's spin-off. A new spin-off would expand Taylor Sheridan's canon to include yet another television series, which he hopes will be just as successful as Yellowstone and its other spin-offs, 1883 and 1923. There isn't much to go on in terms of news or information at the moment, but it'll be fascinating to see one of the most famous actors in the world starring in a Sheridan original. If I had to guess, I'd say that McConaughey will be leading the cast of Taylor Sheridan and Company's promised 4/6's Ranch spinoff. In addition, the plot of Season 5 has Rip Wheeler and several of the bunker staff traveling to Texas, and it seems that all the pieces are slowly but surely clicking into place. This means that a possible exit from Yellowstone for Kevin Costner will surely pave the way for a 4/6's spinoff starring Matthew McConaughey. The news that Kevin Costner would be leaving Yellowstone and that the show might be canceled came as a complete shock to the show's many fans. If Costner does depart from Yellowstone, then a new series would definitely need someone of Matthew McConaughey's caliber to pick up the story. However, uncertainty persists as to which Yellowstone stars will make appearances in the new season. Reportedly, Costner has fallen out of favor with the production schedule and has wanted to film the second half of Season 5 in just 1 week. His primary focus currently appears to be on Horizon, the film he wrote, produced, and will direct. According to Deadline sources, Costner, who had previously capped his filming on Yellowstone at 65 days, now only wants to film for 50 days during the beginning of this season. Paramount Network has decided to pass on Costner's latest proposal and go on to the other show. Understandably, Taylor Sheridan and Paramount Network have decided to take the show in a different direction. Although Paramount has not officially announced which spin-off will star Matthew McConaughey, all fingers are currently pointing in that direction. Chris McCarthy had this to say regarding which spin-off McConaughey would star in. "There is nothing new to report at this time. We hope Kevin Costner continues to play a significant role in Yellowstone for many years to come. We are always working on franchise extensions of Taylor Sheridan's wonderful world, and Matthew McConaughey is an incredible talent we'd be proud to work with." But could this unexpected departure be setting the groundwork for the spin-off 4/6's? That's what everyone else thinks. This is because a spin-off series based on the famous 4/6's Ranch in West Texas was announced as far back as February of 2021. This was long before it became public that Taylor Sheridan was involved in an absurdly large number of projects at once. Without a doubt, this would be a great project to work on, thanks to the historical significance of the real-life 4/6's Ranch. In 1870, Samuel Burke Burnett established the 4/6's Ranch after purchasing a herd of 100 cattle branded with the number 6666. The 4/6's, the Frisco Creek, and the Dixon Creek ranches combined for a total of 266,000 acres today. It was said that Jefferson White would play Jimmy Herdstrom and Ryan Bingham would play Walker in 4/6's. But beyond that, not much else is known about the spin-off series. There is no ranch in America with deeper ties to the Western past than the 4/6's, which was established back when the Comanches were the dominant force in West Texas. The 4/6's is a countrywide area where the rule of law and the rules of nature converge. It is also a place where the next thing you do could be your last. Interestingly, it has remained largely unchanged for the past 2 centuries. The Four Sixes has become known as the place where world-class cowboys are born and made through a relentless pursuit of raising the world's finest horses and livestock. Well, guess what? Taylor Sheridan, who is obviously a cowboy himself, eventually purchased the actual ranch. Before the transaction was finalized, Sheridan, who is also a Texan, spoke about the significance of the ranch's history to him. He had this to say: "Because of how meaningful this legacy is to me, I've decided to feature it prominently in the upcoming season of Yellowstone, and I intend to do everything I can to ensure that it and its activities are maintained in a way that is true to its original goal." After Jimmy was taken to the Four Sixes to learn the ropes as a cowboy, Taylor began filming there, and the location quickly became central to Season 4. While Jimmy was primarily MIA throughout Season 5, we did return to Texas for the mid-season finale to visit him and his new fiancée, Emily. However, back in Montana, the Dutton family needs to locate a new home for their cattle thanks to a brucellosis epidemic. John Dutton calls the Four Sixes Ranch and begins discussing business with them, while Beth is also chipping in to seal up the business side of things. As the first half of the season comes to a close, Rip and a few of the bunkhouse regulars are making their way south to rescue the herd. Taking all of this into consideration, wouldn't that sum up the ideal segue into a Four Sixes spinoff without Kevin Costner's John Dutton? I'm sure it would. First of all, Jimmy has already arrived at the ranch, and much of the groundwork for the Four Sixes spinoff was done in Season 4. Secondly, Rip and the rest of the crew are also on their way there to rescue the cattle. Since Matthew McConaughey was born and raised in Texas, it only makes sense that his on-screen alter ego also hails from the Lone Star State. Since John plans to remain in Montana and keep controlling the state government, he might easily be written out of the sequel. After initial plans called for the Four Sixes spinoff to run on Paramount+, the network has since announced that it will instead air on Paramount Network. Though it makes sense for the new series to take over the time slot vacated by Yellowstone. Time will tell, but if the goal is to wrap up Yellowstone as we know it and then continue the story in a spin-off series starring most of the original cast plus McConaughey, then the Four Sixes seems like the most logical way to accomplish it. Financially, they own the property. Logistically, all of Taylor's horses used in the show live down there. And climatologically, there are typically no harsh winters in Texas. With that being said, it makes sense to continue the story down at the Four Sixes Ranch in Texas with Matthew McConaughey as the leading man. For now, there has been no release date or production news about the show, so there isn't much we can tell you. But you can rest assured that we'll get some more news soon. We'll have to wait and see.